各位女士、各位先生，欢迎莅临2022金曲国际音乐节商务交流会。连续3天的金曲国际音乐节，我们总共举办了3场商务交流会，广邀。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the GMA Festival. And this morning, we will hold a networking session on the topic of international buyers.
Begin the first session, international buyers. 现在邀请本场次主持人 I'd like to call upon the following guests to take your seats on the stage for discussion. 主持人，物子巡演工作室总监严敏 The Director of Taiwanese Waves, Ms. Mia 敏妍。
大家早安，我是。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mia. I would like to welcome all of you to the networking session this morning. We will focus on international buyers. Most of our speakers are actually not in Taiwan, so I will be interviewing them in English.
And good evening to some of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's my honor to be hosting this panel today. I'm going to quickly introduce everybody, and then I'm going to hit my mic to the first speaker. So today with us, we have, the one person that actually attended, it's Mr. Stephen Dollar from Monster Cat. And then on the screen, I'm going to introduce the producer from Atlas 5, Ms. Aurélie Leduc. She's in France right now. And in the middle, we have Ms. Nicole Sarmiento from Red Ninja Production. She is the founder of Red Ninja Production. Hi, Nicole. And then next is Ms. Ellen Liu from Golden Voice. She is the talent buyer at Golden Voice. Hi, Ellen. And down here, two of my dearest friends from New York. They're from City Parks Foundation, is Ms. Paula Rube, Director of Programming, and Ms. Erica Elliott, City Parks Foundation's Executive Artistic Director. Great. Thank you again for joining us today. I know for some of you, it's like, 4 a.m. in the morning. For some of you, it's like 10 p.m. at night. So thank you. Well, I'm going to give my mic to the first speaker who came all the way from Singapore, to Mr. Stephen Dollar from Monster Cat. Welcome.
Okay. What's Stephen?
My name is Stephen Dowler. I'm the head of Asia Pacific at Monster Cat. Monster Cat is actually...
Yeah? Okay, 先给你看一个吧。
Okay, I'm going to show you a movie clip.
That was cool, huh? Okay. I know my pronunciation isn't that great in Chinese, so I'm just going to use English for the rest, okay? So thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me, by the way, GMAs. It's an honor to be here. I've known about this for a very long time. It's a very prestigious event, and I couldn't be happier than to be here with you all today. So today we're going to talk about Monster Cat. So Monster Cat is a music meets tech independent electronic music record label. We are focused on artist sustainability. We're always trying to find new ways where we can have new channels of revenue through technology for our artists, right? We started in Canada, and since then have grown to 3 different offices around the world. We have Vancouver, we have Los Angeles, and we have most recently Singapore, where I'm posted. We do 6 releases a week. We have a fan base of over 14 million, which is really cool because that helps every single release without even having to put in a dime. And we have thousands of catalog, thousands of tracks, which most of we controlled the publishing and the masters to. I took my ART test today. My mask falls off when I speak, so I'm just going to take it off right now. Okay? So our music breaks down into 3 different categories, 3 different brands. We have Monster Cat Uncaged, which is more of a heavy, energetic, in-your-face, bass music type of sound. This is very organic to us and where our roots are. Then you have Monster Cat Instinct. Monster Cat Instinct is much more of a vocally radio-friendly sound, sort of commercial house, this kind of thing. Then you go into Monster Cat Silk, which we actually just recently purchased or acquired last year, and that was able to help us reach an older demographic with much more of a relaxed and emotive, euphoric, progressive house and trance type of sound, right? So these are some of the artists that we've worked with. We work on a non-exclusive basis with all of our artists. So every single contract is release-based, right? So that allows us to work with a lot of artists. Some of them you may or may not recognize. You got big names up there like Marshmello, Cascade, Vice Tone, all the way down to the up-and-coming artists like Huaprox or Dexter King, for example, right? So since we came out into Asia, we've really tried to get involved with the community and increase our Asian representation. So names like Huaprox and Dexter King, which I just mentioned, from Vietnam and China, Shingo Nakamura from Japan, Weird Genius from Indonesia, and or Bose, who's of Taiwanese descent, right, would be some good examples of these. So with all these artists, we're always trying to find new ways where we can make money for them, right? That's what a label does. So we developed a product using technology called Monster Cat Gold. Now, Monster Cat started as a YouTube channel, which means that we were very, from day one, involved in the creator economy. And as the creator economy on YouTube grew, copyright started becoming an issue, right? People were putting up videos with music they didn't own and started getting DMCA strikes and takedowns. We saw this. These were our friends, our peers, and we're like, we're a record label. We should do something about this. And so we did. We created a subscription music service called Monster Cat Gold, which allows content creators to be able to upload their content using thousands and thousands of songs from top producers like the ones you just saw, cross-platform, without having to worry about mutes, blocks, takedowns, DMCAs, any of that, right? So it's just another example of ways that we are trying to innovate to really sustain artists, right? Allow them to do what they want to do. And as you can see, we made over $700,000 last year with the product, and it continues to grow. So being involved in the creator economy, most of the people that are using Monstercat Gold, they're streamers, right? They're content creators, and a lot of those are involved in gaming. So as we became involved in the content creator and the gaming streamer community, we started getting involved with the publishers of the games and the developers of the games. And eventually, that led us to do some pretty cool things. So we've worked with a lot of gaming companies to date, but these are some of the ones that we've worked with most recently that you may or may not recognize. Fortnite, for example, we supply the music for Radio Yonder. That is their electronic music radio station that's in-game, right? Rocket League, we are the exclusive music provider for. So the music actually comes out in-game the same day it does on DSPs like Spotify, KKBox, Apple, what have you, right? So it enables the game to be part of the song's story and vice versa, right? The song to be part of the game's story. Now, Roblox, you may have heard of them, huge game, mostly targeted at young females, but millions and millions of users. We were the first music label to be able to partner with Roblox. Instead of just working with Roblox for one of its games, because Roblox, for those who don't know, is an ecosystem where people build their own games in the Roblox ecosystem, right? So it's many, many games. It's a world of games. We were actually able to work with all of them by giving them 150 songs to offer to all of their developers, okay? Some other cool stuff that we've done in the gaming world would be, excuse me, heartburn, would be battle passes. So if you don't know what a battle pass is where you can pay to have the right to be able to earn premium content, okay? So what does this premium content look like that you are earning through playing the game? It looks like skins, okay? So we've gone and used artist likenesses, and not just huge artists, but small artists too, that you can actually play in the game. You can be them as a champion in the game. It looks like merchandise. It looks like we even have the right to use the game. Or in Rocket League, a very cool one that I personally like is called an anthem, where when you score a goal, it plays a piece of the song, right? Personalized for you. So we were definitely the first record label to do this with them, and it's just another way that we are using gaming to do creative partnerships, right? And we're able to do this because we control the publishing as well. So it's a very easy decision for us to make. Okay, more ways that we're using technology to be able to further artist sustainability. Who here knows what an NFT is? 谁知道 NFT 是什么东西? Okay, a few of you, right? So in January of last year, I would guess a lot of you didn't know what an NFT was, but we were already doing our first NFT on Nifty Gateway, where they sell most of the premium NFTs, right? Fast forward to October 2021, we put out the first 3D asset on Nifty Gateway. Now, this wasn't a 2D image of a 3D asset. It was an actual 3D asset that you could put into the metaverse, like Decentraland or Sandbox or any of them, right? But what was cool about this is it had utility. And that utility is it played music. It was a record player. So every record player needs records, right? Last month, we just unveiled our platform called Relics XYZ, which is it's a platform for music to be sold as digital collectibles, and you can play those with our Genesis idols, the record players, in the metaverse, okay? So that's some Web3 stuff that we've done. These are some ways that we're making artists money through technology and gaming and Web3, and now we're going to talk about some case studies, okay? So Cascade, If you're familiar at all with electronic music, chances are you've probably heard of Cascade. We put Cascade into a crossover between Rocket League and Fortnite and made him the first artist that had ever had a whole season built around them in game. We put out 4 different songs, an entire EP, and each EP had its own touch points, whether that was being in the season trailer, each track in the EP had its own touch points, whether it was being in the season trailer, or it was merchandise, or hosting Radio Yonder, which is the first time that anybody had done that. And Radio Yonder, as we spoke about before, is the electronic radio station inside of Fortnite, right? We also had in-game concerts in Fortnite, Party Royale, and in Rocket League, during a match that was being hosted by Team Liquid, which is one of the most prominent esports teams in the world, okay? This campaign was so successful that the last track of the EP, Miles to Go, was actually our most streamed track of the entire year for 2021 for the label. So that's Cascade. Let's talk about something over on this side of the globe. So Dexter King. Dexter King is a Chinese artist, all right? Mainland China. He is someone that has their own set of challenges in terms of getting an international presence. People inside of mainland China have a lot that they have to do. In China, you have to work within the Chinese ecosystem, right? So they have to focus on platforms like QQ and Wang Yi before they can even think about getting on things like KKBox or Spotify or any of these other places that you would normally go to have an international presence, okay? So when we found him, he didn't have much of an international presence at all. But by bringing him into our ecosystem, we were able to get him into Fortnite. We were able to get him into Rocket League. We were able to get him into Forza and all kinds of these opportunities, as well as introducing him into artists. He's now become recognized internationally as one of DJ Mag's top 100 DJs, okay? The last one that I'm gonna talk about here is called Good Game Asia. I'm particularly excited about this because it's happening right now. Good Game Asia is a new form of reality TV show that is broadcast on 12 countries throughout Asia with Warner, plus OGN in Korea. You can see it here in Taiwan on Warner Television if you want to tune in. And so what they do is they put streamers, gaming streamers, together to see who can become Asia's top content creator. We're the exclusive music provider for this television show. And what's more is when the music is played in the show, it's credited. So people can actually see, oh, this is Tokyo Machine or whatever the artist name, and this is the track, press play, or play, excuse me. So beyond that, though, we've given gold to each and every one of the contestants. So instead of just giving the music to the people that are watching the television show, you also get to reach the audience. And they can now upload the content, and it works within the ecosystem of the television show as well, right? So, so these are just some of the cool ways that we have been using tech and Web3 and gaming for artist sustainability as a company. If this is stuff that interests you, reach out, let me know. I'm walking around after this, and you can find me on the GMA website for anybody out there that may be interested. For anything else, you can always contact one of these 2 email addresses for partnerships and/or press inquiries. Once again, I'd like to thank GMAs for inviting me, and looking forward to getting to know you all better.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for sharing. Actually, I do have a question. So as we all know, 2020 was a very special year as the pandemic hit everybody. So your experience in the record label, what was it like, during the pandemic? Just some, sharing your experiences with the industry.
Sure, obviously it was a tough time for a lot of us. Our live stuff took a nosedive, as did the rest of the world. What was interesting, though, is that you saw sort of I guess you could call it a diversification of streaming tastes, whereas previously you would see a lot more in the pop realm. That kind of I guess, veered off into more of a relaxed listening and or other subgenres for people's tastes during that time. So yeah, you saw a change of tastes in the streaming consumer, and it definitely really hurt the live industry. So
For sure.
yeah.
Well,
Hopefully we don't have to deal with that.
no,
ever
things
again.
are looking great. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing and welcome to GMA and hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. Just return to your seat. Thank you. All right. Next, I'm going to introduce our guest from Atlas 5, Ms. Ohele Leduc. Hi. Hi, Ohele. Can't hear you just yet. Okay, it's okay.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you remotely. I'm very sad not to be able being here, but maybe next year. So just a quick word on who I am, maybe. So I'm Aurélie. I'm a producer at Atlas 5, which is a French company, production company specialized in immersive technologies. So what we do is that, as we often say, we bring new lens, we build new lens in virtual worlds. So basically, we are specializing in virtual reality, augmented reality, and we also do immersive exhibitions with museums and interactive experiences. So we specialize in what we call artistic and narrative experiences. So it can be VR, AR. I'm sure you're familiar with all these new technologies. So we basically work with artists, directors to bring their stories and their virtual worlds into using immersive technologies to try to invent new stuff and try to tell stories in a different way. So just a quick word on what we do. So we just started in 2017, and we created more than 20 VR and AR experiences that you can actually find on virtual reality stores like the one of Meta or HTC, and you can also find them in museums, cultural institutions. And we're also working with a lot of Taiwanese partners. So basically, that's what we are doing at Atlas 5. We developed some of the most rewarded and known narrative artistic VR experiences, such as Gloomy Eyes, Battlescore, and we are also working very freshly on bringing the Wallace and Gromit in virtual reality. So this is the kind of experiences we're working on. And just a quick word on Atlas 5. So we are the content producers. So we invent the stories and we and the concepts. But we are actually like kind of the first immersive media group, as we can call it now. So specializing in immersive technologies. So now we also have Albion, which is our studio based in France as well, which is specialized in what we call real-time 3D animation. So it's basically using 3D animation in a real-time engine, such as Unreal and Unity. So it's basically video game technology, as we can call it. So they are building the worlds, and we also started this year Astrea, which is our distribution company that is actually focusing on publishing and distributing all of Atlas V content and all over the partners, different partners from all over the world, content, VR, AR, as I said before. And Astrea is actually representing more than 50 VR and AR content right now. So we can actually work from the concept to the distribution now. And we are very happy about that, to help the artists we are working on and the producers to work on all of this all together. So so we're basically working between the cinema, virtual, immersive industry and classic and video game, kind of. So it's very like at the intersection of all of these industries. And very recently, like in 2020, with the COVID and stuff, we actually started working on virtual concerts and live events when we were actually not able of being together. And when this actually came out, I'm sure that you know about it, and Stefan actually mentioned the virtual concerts that are actually happening in video games right now. So the concert of Travis Scott in Fortnite was in 2020. So just a quick word on virtual concerts, so we are all kind of on the same page. So virtual concert means having a 3D artist, so an artist which is often represented as an avatar in a 3D world. So it can be a 3D world as video game, but it can also be immersive in virtual reality. So that's actually what we are working on at Atlas V right now. There's not a lot of virtual concerts using virtual reality technology, so I mean virtual reality headsets. So we are developing this right now. And quick words on that, but I'm sure you all know about this. The idea is not even to try to be like a real concert or replace a real concert. It's a totally new experience, which is remote and that can offer different things than a real concert, as we can call it. So this is all related with the big word, metaverse, that you've heard maybe like 1,000 times in the last 2 years. So as we said at Atlas V, we are metaverse builders in the way that we build immersive worlds that are and immersive stories that are gonna be the core of the metaverse that we are all building for the past years now. And quick word on the metaverse as well. So just a few words on this. So basically, metaverse means a network of virtual worlds that are in the near future going to be connected all together. So metaverse can be sandbox. Some people are saying that Fortnite is part of the metaverse as well. It's just virtual worlds using 3D animation, live 3D animation, where we can actually go in, talk together, experience cultural activities such as concerts or theaters, and where we can also buy stuff. But we are focusing on cultural experiences in the metaverse and especially virtual concerts. So we've been working on case study now. So just 2 examples of the virtual concerts we are developing in Atlas V. So first one actually was started this year. We worked with Meta, so formerly Facebook, who is actually putting a lot in the metaverse. I'm sure you heard about that at the last year, what Mark Zuckerberg told about metaverse. So they are building their metaverse, which is based on the Horizon Worlds application. That is that you can actually access with the Facebook headsets that are called Oculus virtual reality headsets. So the platform is very new. It's still in research and development. And it was when we worked on this virtual concert with the French artist Timothée Joly, the platform was not even open in Europe or in Asia. It was only for American audience. It's now open in England, and it will shortly be open in France. So it was like very research and development project that we're developing with a French broadcaster called Arte. So I'm going to show you a quick video so you can see what it actually looks like. But the basic principle of it, it's like the artist was wearing a virtual reality headsets and was actually in a virtual room playing a live concert in front of an audience. So he was singing with his virtual headset, and the concert was live in the virtual world. So there's like a real connection between the audience and the artist using this immersive technology. So just quick video on this.
Le parfum des filles, j'ai le parfum des fleurs, une douleur dans le cœur. Baby, dis-moi ce que t'as sur le cœur.
C'est clairement l'essence même de un vrai concert quoi. Enfin, c'est même c'est la vraie vie et je mens pas tu vois. Dans le métaverse j'ai juste mon casque, et je suis dedans quoi. Je suis clairement dedans.
Hop, et du coup je lance Horizon.
Voilà, je te mets pas fort et tu me dis, on va montrer en quel film.
C'est 1+2 pour la sortie et 7 et 8 pour l'entrée. Hein.
Dans ce monde.
Et aussi j'ai l'impression que la voix tu l'as en mono en fait toi. C'est pour ça, elle arrive en mono dans tes trucs. Ok, let's go.
Là ça va être ouf ça.
Je me dévore.
So yes, this is how it looks like and how is metaverse virtual concerts can look like in meta metaverse. So as you can see, artists and avatars don't have legs in meta metaverse, but you actually really forget that pretty easily, as what you are looking for when you're doing a virtual concerts in the metaverse is about interaction, direct interaction with the artist. And didn't show you the end of the video, but at the end of the concert, the artist just came down off the stage and could actually talk with the people in the audience. So it was like very interactive, very direct with the artists, and the audience could interact with the artist during the concert using different commands, which could be like hearts and party stuff that you could see in the video. So that was the first virtual concerts in the metaverse we did. We're going to do some others, and metaverse is actually pretty easy to use, and we can do very different stuff with the artists, and we can build whatever world we want in this metaverse. So this is pretty open, and it's a real artistic tools for the artists and the industry as a whole. So that was the first case study for virtual concerts. And we are also developing another kind of virtual concerts, but this time is not metaverse, it's not virtual reality, it's for video platform. So we are building this very new experience, which will be the first interactive concert on Twitch. So this is for video platform. So this is very different, as you cannot move in the virtual world. So the challenge for us was, how do we bring a virtual concert for video platform where you cannot move? So we need to invent a new kind of interaction, because virtual concerts is kind of all about interaction with the artist and with the virtual world we are actually building. So we are working with a French artist as well, who is called Ole. So just a quick words on the technology, and I'm trying to be fast on this. So we're using motion capture. So we captured the performance of the artist using motion capture. So we had all of her movements and choreography that we then put it in the real-time engine using real-time 3D animation. So just gonna show you a quick video. I think it's gonna be all clearer with this.
Shot 121.
Je perds la raison des filles en cascade. Tout à l'heure s'y paraît, loin des réalités. Hey, oh les gars, j'arrive quelque part, peut-être ici ou mais ailleurs. Y a des gens qui marchent la tête en bas. Je garde les yeux ouverts, y a plus de notion de latitude, mais tout droit devant c'est la chute. Et je me penche encore, je remets le couvert, je ne dois pas être si loin de la terre. Penche encore, je remets le couvert, je ne dois pas être si loin de la terre. Une illusion, chaque fois qu'il me guette, quand je regarde dehors, le vertige est trop fort, je perds la raison. Des filles en cascade, tout à l'air séparé, loin des réalités. Hey, hey, hey.
Shot 121.
So just a quick word on this. So this is all work in progress. The images you saw are not definitive at all, but it was just to show you like how it actually works. So we build different virtual worlds for each of the tracks that are gonna be in the concerts. So they're gonna be 4 tracks, so 4 different virtual worlds. So it's gonna be a city in Shanghai. It's gonna be a car ride. It's going to be something in Siberia. So very different stuff. And a quick word on the interactivity. How does it work? So we are going to use all the information and the interactions of the Twitch users in the chat. So the messages they are sending, the emotes, reactions, and all of this is going to interact directly and influence directly the concert. So it's gonna trigger special effects in the virtual world. The messages are gonna be integrated live in the concerts. So we are really building interaction for virtual concerts on platform videos that are kind of more accessible than virtual reality for the moment. So that's why we're working on those 2 kind of experiences. So I'm gonna conclude very fast on this. Basically for building those virtual concerts, we are working with the whole industry, music industry. So it's artists, it's record labels, it's tour managers, and it's also broadcasters that are interested in having virtual concerts on their platforms for their audience. So I'm going to end on this. Thank you very much for listening, and I would be very happy to chat with you if you're interested in having and building a virtual concert with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you. This is really cool, and the videos you show were pretty mind-blowing. I'm sure we'll be learning more a lot. Just a quick question about, I think your experience in the pandemic would be very different from the rest of us because, virtual concert and stuff are what we are catching up on. So I think I guess a lot of people wanted to know more about it and just, I guess, share your experiences, during the pandemic and post-pandemic. What are some things and goals you could share with us?
Yeah, sure. I think pandemic for us and for the whole pandemic, for the whole music industry was all about having new ideas of what we can actually build since we are all at home. So as I said before, it's how virtual concerts actually came in the game, and they are actually here to stay because they bring something new. So for us, it was just about using new tools, thinking differently on how we can build our artistic experiences and help artists to connect with their audience even when they can actually meet. So for us, it's always kind of the same reflection. Using virtual reality and augmented reality was all about how do we use these new tools to create something new, and COVID was all about this as well. And working remotely with VR, it's kind of actually pretty easy when we have like all headsets at home. So it was fine, and yeah. And actually, all the metaverse is all going to be also about working remotely, using immersive worlds, and enabling us to work very more easily together. So it's like very interesting tool for all of this.
Right. Thank you for sharing, and look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. We have Nicole from the Ninja Production. She's the founder of it. It's your turn.
Okay, thank you. For anything, so hi, my name is Nicole Sarmiento. I'm from the Philippines, and yeah, I'm just gonna be showing you guys a few slides on the Ninja. Sorry, can you guys see the screen? Oh, there you go. Okay, so Red Ninja has been around for a good 13 years. We're actually turning 14 next year. We're one of the biggest independent music companies here in Manila. And so we've been doing a bunch of music festivals, and we've been managing a bunch of up-and-coming talents, and it's been fun. So we also have our smaller gigs in different bars around Metro Manila. Now that everything's opening up after the lockdown, we've actually started looking into doing more provincial shows as well. So when the pandemic hit, we just had to go online, and it wasn't as big as like doing virtual concerts and anything. Most of them were done through Zoom and Facebook. So our biannual festival, we have over 20 bands from all over the Philippines. Sometimes we have some international artists as well. We've also mounted a few shows from by international artists. The biggest of which were Kyle Patrick from Click 5 and May. We're also a management company, so right now we are handling, I think, 4 artists. The first being Lions and Acrobats, who's been around for, I think, 12 or 11 years. So they're our artist who's more on the heavy side of things. So they're a post-rock band. And then we have Devices, which is an indie band. They won a couple of Battle of the Bands, and we just spoke and said, hey, we should manage you. So that was a fun story. And then we have an indie folk artist called the Sun Manager. And then our newest one, Austin, he's also an indie folk artist as well. So with that, basically, we love bringing people into the Philippines to do their shows. And yeah, so if you guys want to get in touch, I would really love to hear from you. My email is nicole@redninjaprod.com. Before I end that, I'd like to show you guys a video of our 10th year anniversary from 2019. So you guys have an idea of how our festivals go.
Pretend
Amazing. I really, really miss going to festivals, and I'm sure everybody here is too. Same question to you, like during the pandemic, like you, Red Ninja as a production company, managed company, like I'm sure it's been like a very challenging 2 years. Maybe share some of your experience with us.
When it first started, we didn't, I mean, like just like everybody else, we didn't expect it to run for more than, I guess, 6 months, right? So we kind of just took it slow and kind of tried to control the things that we could control. But on, I think, maybe the 4th or 5th month of being in lockdown, all the uncertainty started coming in, and we had to cancel a bunch of our gigs and a bunch of international artists that we were bringing in, which is why we started doing private shows on Zoom. And I mean, it's nothing like the real thing, but I guess it was something that a lot of people in the Red Ninja community just kept telling us they needed to move on and forget about things. So we just kind of continued that just to stay a bit relevant in the music scene. But things are opening up here again, so we'll be doing a few festivals again.
Nice. Yay, good luck, and hope to bring some Taiwanese bands over to the Philippines.
Definitely.
Great. Thank you. All right. Next, the next speaker, I have a personal relationship with her because I've worked with her for some Taiwanese artists actually, and it's Ellen from Golden Voice. Hi, Ellen.
Hi everyone. 大家好. I work for Golden Voice. I'm a talent buyer here. And to kind of maybe give you a little bit of an understanding of that role, because I do think the title of the job is a little bit limiting compared to what we actually handle. So a talent buyer role, for a concert, typically we are the ones who work directly with the artist teams to book their artists. We work with their agents who represent them to play in either our venues or our music festivals. In a festival sense, we do the same in terms of booking the artist for the festival, but we also kind of for both in the scope of like the marketing, the operations, the production, and when it goes into festivals, even into sponsorships, the partnerships that will be on site. We kind of have a hand in that. And I apologize, I'm trying to share this right now, my screen, but it's kind of not letting me. Hang on 1 second so you can see this. Oh no, I think I'm having some issues. Hang on. Okay, you can see this, correct?
Not.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. So kind of to back it up, sorry, I got a little bit distracted, so I was trying to get this to go up. Golden Voice is based in Los Angeles, but we have offices all throughout California. We have San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and San Diego. And we book venues anywhere from 500 cap to 6,000 cap into arenas. We also do festivals. Probably the most popular and known internationally is the Coachella Valley Music Arts Festival. And I myself primarily am responsible for Camp Flog Gnaw, which is a partnership with Tyler the Creator, which I'm going to get into in a little bit, and then also Head in the Clouds, which is a festival in partnership with 88 Rising. I will also get into that in a little bit. But the goal for the company is quintessentially to kind of build an artist's trajectory and their career through our rooms and through our festivals, and kind of maintain a relationship with them. And we've successfully done that in California. as Golden Voice, our parent company, AEG, which is actually a global company that has offices in Asia, in Europe, and all throughout North America. We work closely with artist teams to essentially build them in each of our markets that we kind of tap into. So the next slide is Camp Flognaw, which is actually how I know Mia. She works with a band named Elephant Gym, who we were lucky enough to have on our festival in 2019. And that was incredibly important to me. My family is from Taiwan, so getting as many artists as we can to kind of come and be a part of this festival in a way that like maybe isn't quite so obvious is super meaningful to me. But this festival is, as I said earlier, in partnership with Tyler, the Creator. It takes place at Dodger Stadium, which is a legendary baseball stadium in Los Angeles. And it's a partnership that at this point has probably been fostered for, if you include the pandemic, 10 years. We've unfortunately had to hold on the festival for 2 years because of COVID. But this festival started very, very small. It was a 2,000 capacity event that took place in downtown Los Angeles. And as it grew, we kind of started to move it organically into a 5,000 cap space, an 8,000 cap space, 10,000, and now we're surpassing 50,000 per year for this festival. And this festival very much embodies Tyler, the Creator, who is a artist that has grown exponentially. I'm not sure how big he is over in Asia, but he's significantly a cultural relevant artist of the times. He's got his hands in fashion. He's got his hands in, creating shoes. He's got his hand in music, in production, and also music festivals. And so he's really kind of built this foundation in Los Angeles where there is already a core audience for him. And the beautiful thing about this festival is it's really evolved and grown with him as an artist. As I said, it's been around for 10 years at this point. Where he started when he was 20 years old versus where he is now, he's sonically and musically grown so much, and what he listens to has grown so much, and what his fan base listens to has changed. And this festival has taken the steps to kind of organically grow in those directions, where, in 2019, we could have a band like Elephant Gym play at the festival and have there be an audience excited to see them. We've had older artists that, this fan base that it's typically in their, teens or early 20s don't necessarily listen to, but because it's tied to Tyler, the Creator, they are interested in coming to kind of see who this artist is and give them a shot to kind of to see if there's somebody that they're like, because Tyler, the Creator, has kind of signed off on it. So this festival has been super rewarding, and I actually started working on this festival when I was still an intern. I was still in college. I sold merch for the first year. I think I made $100 selling a lot of merch. But it's incredible to kind of see the opportunities that have been given. And now I book and I oversee this festival with our partners. And the next festival and event that I book and oversee is Head in the Clouds Music Festival, which is in partnership with 88 Rising. And they are a media management label company. They represent artists like Joji, Nicki, Rich Brian, Warren Hu. Last year, they did the soundtrack to the Marvel movie Shang-Chi. So, they have their hands in a lot of facets of the music industry. And it's been incredibly rewarding to partner with them on this festival, particularly because the point of this festival is to celebrate Asian representation in the arts. We showcase Asian artists from around the world, not just domestically in the U.S., which, for someone like me growing up who never really saw that at all when I would go to festivals or concerts. It's super meaningful for me to be a part of this festival that is bringing this to the States, and specifically to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, which is actually quite close to where I grew up. It's just a city over. I grew up in Arcadia, and in this area, there is a big Asian population who, again, like, not up until these last coming years, where we're starting to see a lot of international artists from Asia come over and play shows or be on festivals. We never really saw this. So this is truly really groundbreaking for us as a company, but I think just as a music industry in the United States, to have something like this. And, the purpose really was to give artists, Asian artists specifically, a platform, because we weren't seeing it on some of these major festivals. We weren't seeing it necessarily touring in the US. But obviously that tide is starting to change, and we're starting to, not only domestically are there a lot more Asian American artists that are touring and coming and making music, but we're also seeing obviously an influx of international artists coming over and proving that there is a market here for them. Another really amazing thing about this festival is that, while it does celebrate Asian talent and giving them a platform, we always kind of want to continue to evolve and grow. And one of the things that we've had for the last couple of years is the 626 Night Market, which actually is a big food vendor event that happens in California right now. And they, specifically focus on showcasing Asian cuisine, mom and pop restaurants, even some, higher end food vendors. But the purpose is kind of to highlight this. And we've brought that to the festival. So we do actually have a very extensive food vendor area that, solely focuses on all different types of Asian cuisine from all across Asia. We plan to, for this year, have kind of like a boba world where, stores all across California or Los Angeles specifically that we kind of bring in, they will have kind of a vendor slot to be able to serve at the festival, which was a huge hit last year, probably the longest lines that we had out of anything, which is super exciting to see. And it's really incredible to kind of see, I would say America, but specifically right now, like Los Angeles, kind of embrace our culture in such a different way. And to see, again, these artists that look like me or us on these stages as something, which was something that we had never seen before, is super, super exciting. And this thing is going to continue to grow. Last year, we kind of broke the record for them in terms of how many tickets were sold. This year, there's even more demand, which is really exciting to see. And again, we're kind of starting to see the tide turn. It's not just Head in the Clouds now that is really kind of giving Asian artists this platform. I mean, it was just announced not too long ago that, J-Hope from BTS and TXT were going to be playing Lollapalooza. And obviously, Paul Tillett, who of Golden Boys, who books Coachella, had Blackpink and has had the 88 Rising Head in the Clouds set, which I don't know if anyone got to see that this year at Coachella. And we're seeing incrementally, and I think that will start to pick up now very quickly, that there is a broader scope of representation for Asian artists, either domestically or abroad, to come and play either our concert venues or our festivals. But I was going to show a video, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work this time around for me due to I couldn't click on the sound. But thank you for having me. It's been incredible to be a part of this, and I hope that next year I can come in person.
Yeah, thank you, Ellen. I mean, to answer some of your question, yes, Tyler is big here too. And I think bringing Elephant Gym over to play Flogna in 2019 was probably like the highlight of my career and their career because, you know, the lineup is so diverse and it was the first time for them to, you know, being able to play at a festival there. And I'm really excited about Heads in the Cloud too. I know it's happening in 2 months, hopefully.
Yeah, in August.
Yeah, and then I'm bringing Sunset Roller Coaster over again in in October. So hopefully we'll see you. But yes, the same question to you. Like, I know I saw you last year in LA, and we kind of talk about everything is just opening up and stuff. And so many festivals and tours are happening right now. And what's the international touring aspect, you know, happening over the past 2 years? Or are people traveling internationally? Now?
That's a good question. As far as traveling internationally as in coming from around the world to Los Angeles or to the US, it kind of depends, right? Like for instance, last year when we did Head in the Clouds, I know in previous years they've kind of had a good turnout from like abroad, but last year, obviously there was a lot of travel restrictions. We were still dealing with COVID. It was a lot of restrictions even at the festival, right? A lot of people had to, you know, we encourage people to wear a mask. A lot of people had to show proof of vaccination in order to enter. I think it proved to be difficult for a lot of people to come from abroad because not so much that there's a quarantine restriction here when they got here, but if they were to go back home, there was one, which made it difficult. But, you know, I'm curious if that's going to change for this year. I think a majority of our buyers are still local, still mainly based in California, specifically for Head in the Clouds. I think if that is going to change, I think it will depend on as things kind of get better. I think it's still a little bit difficult for people to come from abroad.
Right. Well, but hopefully we'll bring more bands from Taiwan to the States to play very soon.
Yeah. And it actually looks like they can play the video. They'll play it for me as opposed to me playing it. So if you'll give us a couple seconds, it's actually a video for Head in the Clouds from last year.
First Head in the Clouds, the best shadows in my life.
6 periods in high school, turn to commas. Youngin' making bread, hold up, I ain't even started. All these bitches starstruck, I don't wanna fall in love. I'll be on the west side, you and I feel alive for a moment. Make some fucking noise one more time, man. For a moment. Protecting myself, ayy, hold me a vest, ayy, ayy. Tell like I'm bringing all friends, we gotta party in West. I guess you think I'm the man, I'm always winning again. Yeah, all of my pieces from France, I gotta think of the best, yeah. Ay, she wanna make us do we, I said I don't feel no friends, no. I'm bringing all friends, we gotta party in West. I guess you think I'm the man, I'm always winning again, no.
Barbie wanna party like all night. And she looking like a zombie in her all right. Yeah, she looking for a handout. She think she and me, she in a band now. Pull up in the truck, pick it up like a limousine. Looking like a blast from the past, look like a legend. And you're the only Tennessee. And I hope you like Hennessy. Why? Aren't you in
gotta cut them off, yeah. Fake faces, they don't cross up, yeah. My faith is for the cameras, yeah. Flash, flash, I'ma take a picture from my van down. Show 'em I've made it flashbacks to the picture from way back. Yeah, kids like, who's that? Who's that? Now I do Hollywood, yeah. Copies everywhere like a walkie-talkie. I'ma run the lobby, speak to nobody, saying gave it back.
That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, you made it. You've been anxious, but you made it. California, conversations till the sunrise. Let me stop by California. I don't wanna.
And I just want to say thank you so much for coming to Head in the Clouds. And we're gonna have to meet the kids here one next year, I'm sure.
My mind, I know you know. Somebody put some brakes on me. I really need rest on me. Pops coming up every couple of days. I'm smiling so we could think I'm straight. Why can't I tell the truth? Playing J. Cole back then with a clear angle, like it all makes sense.
Clearly I'm nervous because I don't have the words for this moment right now.
And I just been praying that when I get older that I got some smile on me that can remain. My money is long, but I got some new wishes. I feel like it's longer than government names. Man, all like your wishes. The mask that I wear and the faces below it is looking the same. Like
Money making, while we're breaking, it's amazing. California, celebrated, we're paraded, it's been faded. California, unreal, the hills are storming, it's dead ends and the bots performing. Don't mistake it, you can break big till you get sick.
California.
Amazing. Thank you, Ellen, for sharing. All right, our last speakers of today are also, I have a very personal and I cherish the relationship a lot, is my two friends from City Parks Foundation, Summer Stage, Paula and Erica. I know it's quite late over there, so love to invite you guys to share with us.
Hi, Mia. Eric, I'm going to share my screen so we have the presentation in the background. Is that okay?
Great. And it is late. We're really excited to be here and among such interesting presentations, but we will keep it short and sweet. But we're here to talk about our festival, which is Summer Stage. I think for this panel, we really represent the sort of nonprofit mission-based public programs, of which we are a little bit unique, but we do sort of sit at the intersection of performing arts, but also outdoor festivals. And again, I said we're a mission-based festival, meaning that we are nonprofit. Our events are free, and we have a specific agenda in doing this festival, which is to make arts and culture accessible to primarily New Yorkers, but essentially anyone who comes and wants to engage with our festival. Summer Stage is part of a larger nonprofit organization called City Parks Foundation, and we are the largest presenter of free performing arts in New York City. We bring music, dance, film, sometimes theater, family programming, and other things, but mainly music to parks throughout New York City. So we are most well known for our location in Central Park, but we present in parks around New York City in all 5 boroughs. And we are known for presenting sort of iconic, legendary artists, both from the US and around the world. We do about 53 shows this year, but that changes slightly from year to year. Couple images of people we've had recently that we are proud of, just to give you a little bit of a sense of the breadth. But everyone from Emily King to Caliushis, Janelle Monáe, John Legend, Japanese Breakfast, Fat Joe. And those are on probably the more established side. And then a huge host of developing artists, discovery artists, local artists in between this and what we present regularly. So just to touch base a little on our, what we call citywide shows. And when we talk about citywide, what we're really talking about is everything that happens outside of Central Park. Central Park is in Manhattan, and it is where we've been presenting for the longest amount of time, over 30 years. And it really is viewed in many ways as the center of New York City. So everything we do outside of Central Park, which is quite a lot, and in terms of quantity, it is parallels the quantity of shows we do in Central Park, we call citywide. We operate in about 11 parks. That does fluctuate a little from year to year. And what else can we say? You know, we're presenting to over 250,000 audience members across the 5 boroughs. We often do workshops and panels, and I said films, to really further engage around the artists that we are presenting or the communities we're trying to give platform to or give voice to. And the range of talent is from quite well established and legendary artists, again, from around the world and US, to emerging artists, again, from around the world and the US. Citywide shows also encompass a festival within the festival. So Summer Stage is also the proud presenter of the Charlie Parker Jazz Festival. It's one of the only free jazz festivals in New York City and attracts about 10,000 people over a weekend. It happens in neighborhoods that have strong historical ties to jazz music, and of course is named after Charlie Parker himself, who was a New Yorker and lived near one of the parks that we present in. We also do puppets. We actually run a marionette theater in Central Park that produces puppet shows year-round for families, and then we take those puppets and tour them around the city, giving access to families and kids all over New York to engage with this art form. Again, just a couple of images of recent people. And again, I said we'd be short and sweet. This is our website. We are 1 month into about 5 months of programming. Our festival period runs from May until October, and we have shows basically every single day, and often multiple shows on the same day in multiple locations across the city. So for example, this weekend we'll have a show in Coney Island and also in Flushing Meadow and also in Central Park. Hopefully you can check out more about what we do. We have all our socials there, and I guess we'll just open it up to some questions from Mia.
Erica, I was just, Mia, just before we finish, we have a video that we can show that's short,
Yes,
but I
we'll
also
have a
wanted to
video
mention
too.
about, Taiwanese Waves, Mia's project that we love. We've been the home of Taiwanese Waves for 5 years. Is that it, Erica? I forgot.
For 4 years onto, I mean, if you count this year, it would be 5 years.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess to touch on that, I mean, I think that's partly why we are here, because we are in the business of giving platform to international communities and really celebrating the vibrant communities that make New York what it is, one of the most diverse and great cities in the world. So we often partner with cultural partners, festivals from around the world, embassies, and then Paula and I directly are sourcing talent. We travel internationally for discovery and to try and bring the best from around the world to Central Park and to our festival. But we've had a long-standing and really amazing partnership with Taiwanese Waves and Mia, really highlighting the artists from this region with her guidance and curatorial leadership. And it's been a really great partnership. And for us, it's particularly meaningful because we're one of the few festivals in New York City that's really giving a full day to programming from Taiwan. And it's a community we want to serve. So we're lucky in that we are a mission-based festival. We can make decisions about what we want to give platform to. And we felt it was really important to make sure that, you know, we were offering our space and our festival to highlight music from this region.
Well, hopefully we'll return next year in the parks. All right, let's watch the video.
Can we show quickly the video, Mia?
Yes.
Before getting the question.
Of course.
It's really quick. Christine, if you can, I'm going to stop sharing now.
there's nothing like an outdoor concert, and I love New Yorkers. And put those things together, and that is probably where I'm most comfortable.
The lineup for Summer Stage this year was so great. So many of our friends are playing and so many bands that I really admire, and so it feels like we've really made it as a band.
To keep a base of people appreciating live music as an art form, I feel like it's very important to have young people see it early on.
Summer Stage is incredibly robust in terms of its curation. There's always something really, really exciting, and that's how we inspire new generations of artists.
It's amazing what Summer Stage is doing, giving the opportunity for all New Yorkers to come out.
I was so excited to tell my buddies, like, come to the show, it's free, now you have no excuse.
Summer Stage is inspiring.
Incredible.
Iconic.
New York.
Summer Stage, that's where it's at.
Wow, I miss it so much. I love it. I guess my question for you, the same thing with like pandemic. I know you guys downsized to just a few shows last year, mostly, you know, local artists. And what's your experience with during the pandemic? And I know you are in season right now. You know, are people coming out to see shows now, or what is it like in New York now?
I mean, I can start, Paula, and then if you want to add in. You know, well, ironically, the video we shared in some ways was fun to watch again, because it was like, stay tuned for 2020, right? And then it was like the season that never happened. So, you know, we had a fully booked season for 2020 and then, you know, pandemic. But it's been a pretty remarkable couple of years. I'm excited that we are still in business. I'm excited that I'm still doing what I'm doing. Last year, we actually started out thinking we were going to have maybe 2 or 3 shows. We ended up having over 30 shows, from very limited capacity at the beginning with socially distanced protocols and all kinds of rigidity around the protocols, to Machine Gun Kelly, fully capacity, you know, full crowd, crazy show towards the end of the summer. So, you know, last year really was very complicated to produce because the criteria and requirements changed from week to week.
Right.
But luckily, knock on wood, going into this year, we are in a place where we expect to have business as usual. I think the entire live music landscape has changed.
Right.
Yes, there are very successful shows and people seem to really want to come back out. But I think as humans, we're changed, and a lot of people are not necessarily ready to come back in big crowds. They're dipping their toes into it, but you know, ticket sales for a lot of shows are probably performing less than they have to expectations. There's a lot of competition, a lot of shows happening because of the pent-up sort of backlog of talent that now wants to get out on the road. But for us as a festival, we are back to full season. And the biggest change from last year is that we are not only in Central Park, which again, I said we sort of see as our main stage, but that we're returning to the city parks all across New York. And for us, that's really a critical piece of who we are, our identity, and serving all New Yorkers. And we are full, like I say, we're full swing, you know.
Hey.
We've had, I don't even know, I've lost count how many shows we've had, and it's not even July 1.
Right.
And we go until October. So, yeah, we're back at it.
Yeah, and we're doing an online show together this year.
We are, and I guess, I mean, I can briefly touch on just in terms of what 2020-21 was like. Like everybody else, or most people, we did a pivot to digital. We're a pretty institutional nonprofit festival, so we had done very little in the content creation space, in the live broadcast space, in the live stream space, in all of it. And so essentially over the last 2 years, it was a crash course in content development, online booking, live streaming, all the things. For us, I really leaned into the philosophy at the time, which was a real cultural shift for us, because we really exist to be in person live, serving New Yorkers in their communities with arts and culture and making it accessible. That's like literally why we exist. So when you can't do that and be in person, what's the reason? And we kind of went with the concept, and I do believe that for us it was really authentic, that we also exist to serve artists, and artists are our partners, and they have always, been part of our festival. And in this moment where they could not make an income, it was a way to continue to pay artists to work at a time when they were not able to, and help sustain them through this very difficult time. And also to connect communities, not only in New York, but around the world, who are centered around the art and artists that we present. So that was really fun, and it was a great opportunity. And now that we're back to live, the biggest shift is that we are continuing to do some live streams. So most of it, for all the reasons that people probably know, it's complicated to get long-term license and use of these live streams. But just for the fact of being able to present these shows around the world in real time is something we're continuing to do, and is exciting, because not only the live stream happens, but we also have content that we have captured that we never had before.
Right.
I've worked at the festival almost 20 years, and we never captured any of the shows. So, there's seismic changes in the way we're doing our business, and hopefully long-term value that we're creating by at least capturing these, really important, in my mind, shows that happen in Central Park for future use, or at least documentation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a crazy couple of years, but yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing and for being part of today's panelists. And I think our time is, wow, that's great. Thank you again for coming. I don't think there will be time to do, if anybody wants to connect with all of our speakers today, feel free to send them an email or a message through the GMA website. Thank you so much for all your time today, and thank you again for coming. And let's say goodbye to all of our speakers, and thank you, Stephen, for being here with us. Thank you so much.